let's jump into the OA Profit Playbook. I'm really excited to talk to you tonight about online arbitrage and just how it's impacted our Amazon business. We'll talk about how it's impacted our business in the past, but what is important now is how online arbitrage can be helping you have a consistent source of inventory that you can source from the comfort of your own home and sell on Amazon. And so, there's a lot of things we want to, stuff into this masterclass, and so we're going to jump right into it. Basically, we're going to break down the playbook that helped us and many of our coaching students build up a six-figure Amazon business doing it with online arbitrage. Like I know for myself, I first started selling on Amazon. Boy, it's been about 15 years or so. And I first started off with garage sales and thrift stores, and it's like no, and then I transitioned into retail arbitrage, and that became my main source. And then around maybe about 10 years ago, started playing around a little bit with online arbitrage and just saw the potential of being able to stay home, not put a bunch of miles, not put a bunch of hours out of my, being away from home, and being able to really find inventory. I still do most of my sourcing with retail arbitrage, but online arbitrage is also something that I like to dabble in and focus on. Rebecca's more, and she'll tell you more of her story. Um, when she gets to her spot, but she does more online arbitrage, and so not much retail arbitrage, and so it works out. So I know for you, as you're listening to this, I know there's people here in the chat. They've already told me I'm mostly retail arbitrage, but I want to start doing some online arbitrage. And so that's what we're going to kind of walk you through and how to make sure you set up your online arbitrage strategy in a way that's going to maximize your time and maximize your profits. And so by the end of today's session, you're going to have a system set in place that will help you get consistent inventory sourcing online to sell on Amazon for a profit. So stick around to the end. We'll answer your questions. And Rebecca and I are going to share things that are going to help you really start to master online arbitrage. And we want to outline this entire process for you that's really helped us um, grow an Amazon business, working from home, and being able to find inventory on a consistent basis to sell online. So Rebecca's going to come in and do her part next. And so she's going to walk you through like just a quick little introduction about online arbitrage, why it works so well, and why it definitely works well in 2025 and is going to be a huge focus for our 2026.
Yeah, I just put in the chat for those of you who are here live the workbook link. It's fulltimefba.com/workbook, and that will take you to the work. It's more of a worksheet. It's not a full workbook this time. There's a couple of pages in it for you, and it's a place where you can take some notes and kind of see the outline of what we're going to be going over through this session. So, like Steven said, I have been doing online arbitrage now since 2015. That's been my main focus. I also do wholesale sourcing. I haven't done consistent RA retail arbitrage in basically 10 years. I mean, I still do it if necessary or if there's like a replan I want to go out and grab for Steven. But for the most part, I am strictly doing everything online, whether it's online arbitrage through retail websites or wholesale through wholesale suppliers. And it has been a game changer for me in those 10 years because energy level wise and just all of the other things going on in life wise, a true work from home job was what I needed. There's a difference between working from home and working for yourself. Sometimes they overlap, but there's kind of a Venn diagram there where working for yourself, you can still work for yourself, but not be working from home. And I truly want to work from home. And so For me, online arbitrage was the key to making that happen. To not just being my own boss, but also being able to work from home so that I'm not having to go out and travel around. Steven is more of the extrovert in the family. He's more interested in being out in, like, even running errands. I'll give him a list of errands to do for our family so that I don't have to get out and go run errands. Just because I prefer to stay at home and do the things that I need to do around here. And yeah, I'm a homebody. So it works really well for me to do most of my work that way. And just temperament wise and also gifting wise, I prefer to see, I'm like so visual with like seeing it all in a spreadsheet form, not just on my phone. Working from my phone drives me crazy sometimes. And so, like, having to do everything just on my phone in a store was really hard for me. So, being able to make that transition to doing everything directly from my computer was a really big deal for me. Um, I also found that it made my sourcing a lot more scalable. So RA is pretty scalable, but I mean, it's more scalable than garage sales and thrifting for sure, which is how I started. And really, in the first year to year and a half, that's probably what my focus was. And then I focused for, 6 months to a year on RA because that was more scalable than just doing one offs. But truly, OA has been even more scalable because I've been able to reorder, replens, reorder as needed rather than having to drive out somewhere and pick up stuff again or drive to a different location or a different branch of a store. It's so much easier to just be able to go and place that order again online. And so I really was able to grow the profits that I was contributing to our business when I switched to OA. You've got expanded nationwide access to stores when you're doing your shopping, your sourcing online. You're able to shop at stores that aren't located in your area at all. This is especially a benefit if you live in a rural area or you're in a part of the country where you just don't have as much access to. Well, we live in the DFW area in Texas, and so we've got a lot of stores here, but it can be hard to get to some of them. It could be an hour and a half just to get to a store that's, in our town. But it really gives us expanded nationwide access to be able to shop at stores that aren't in our area, whether it's a regional department store or some other type of grocery store, or whether it's a store that really basically is just an online store in and of itself. They don't have brick and mortar in our area or at all. And it also, like I was saying, with being able to do all of my research and all of my analysis on the computer, I found that I was able to do a lot better at making data-driven decisions through doing online arbitrage. For me, the ability to look at data and make those smart sourcing decisions and be able to analyze all of that Keepa data, Keepa being the program that we use that gives you historical data about how a product has been historically selling on Amazon. You can access that on your phone, but to me, it's easier to see the bigger picture and be able to dig deeper in that data on my laptop rather than on a phone. And that really helped me to be able to make better decisions and to lower the risk that was involved in my purchases. When I was purchasing in stores, I found that I was not making as good of decisions as I am able to make when I'm using my computer. So before we keep going, if we haven't convinced you yet that OA is a really profitable way to source, just want to bust a myth or two about OA. Sometimes people get ideas in their head, whether it's from other sellers who are trying to distract you from doing OA or from people who just don't know what they're talking about. OA is not dead. Online arbitrage is a very viable, useful way of sourcing for inventory. In plain language, online arbitrage is when you buy low online to sell it high for a higher price on Amazon. So the concept of arbitrage is buying low in order to sell high. And online arbitrage is when you're buying it from an online retailer to then resell it on Amazon. And so it's basically the same concept as retail arbitrage, but you're doing it online. And the landscape does change from time to time as to what it looks like and what is possible, what tools are available, and but the opportunities are still there. So the landscape is very different from when I got started. There are so many more tools available, which comes with benefits, and also it brings a new set of challenges when you have more tools available. So the scanning programs that are available today are much more robust than when we first got started back in 2015. In fact, when I started in 2015, there really wasn't a lot. It was mostly just manual sourcing. And then gradually from that point forward, there were more programs that became available, more tools that you can subscribe to, Chrome extensions and whatnot. But still the basics of online arbitrage are the same as when I first got started back in 2015. And you still really need to know those basics, even if you are using the scanning tools. Like in particular, tactical arbitrage is the one that we use on a regular basis. It's a program that comes bundled in Seller 365. And it's not an either or decision when it comes to using a tool like tactical arbitrage or doing manual sourcing. It's more, how do you use both of them together? We use them both in a blended method where I'm doing manual sourcing based on results that I have gotten from my own tactical arbitrage scans or from the VAs that we work with who are giving us their information that they have found. They do a preliminary search for me, and then I take that and do my own manual sourcing from that. So you don't have to choose. You don't have to do one or the other as far as using a scanning program versus doing manual sourcing. You really can combine both of them, and you're best served if you use some sort of combination of the two of them. Another thing that always comes up for us when we talk about online arbitrage, in particular with our OA success leads, when the subscription service that we have where our VA team is putting together leads lists of online leads on a daily basis for customers to use. There's always some misconceptions regarding restrictions and gating, and newer sellers in particular saying, oh, it doesn't work. I'm restricted in everything. This is never going to work. And we have found that that just is not the case. Not that there aren't restrictions. I'm not going to try to gaslight you into thinking there's no restrictions. There are. There are brands that are restricted from sellers selling them for various reasons, but it's not insurmountable, and it is possible to use a process that we use on a regular basis in order to ungate over time in a systematic and methodical way so that those restrictions are not as much of a hindrance for you. That's something that we can get into later throughout this hour. We can get more into that. If you have any questions about that, be sure and let us know as well. But I just wanted to kind of cover those bases before we get more into like the areas where I look and where I'm doing my sourcing. Because if you come into online arbitrage with the mindset that I'm going to be gated in everything, it's going to be impossible. That's just not true, and you're setting yourself up for like just a mindset barrier to success. And we have found that our OA, the most successful members of OA Success Leads that we work with are the ones who are methodically going through and applying for those approvals and getting them over time. And we have had people come back and say, hey, when I first joined, I was restricted in so much, but now I'm 3 months down the line and I've got so many more brands open to me now. And it's really exciting when we hear people say that. So we want to encourage you in that direction as well. And we have trainings and teaching available to help you with that. And we can get more into that today too. All right. So where to find inventory that sells. I think Stephen has put the link again in the chat for those of you who are here live, but for those of you who are watching later on the replay, the workbook is fulltimefba.com/workbook. And so moving on to where to find inventory that sells. So there's different types of sites that you're going to be looking for and you're going to be searching through when you're doing online arbitrage. Basically, anywhere online that sells inventory, you could probably find something to sell. You don't want to limit yourself. And that's, I think, a place where a lot of people think that, like, oh, there's some big secret about which sites to do sourcing on. No, any site that sells inventory that's reputable, that's not, that you can verify that it's authentic inventory and not some sort of black market type site. But like any retail authentic website that is selling inventory, if you can match that piece of that inventory item, the UPC or other identifiers with the Amazon catalog, and it's profitable, that's a place where you can do online arbitrage. But there's different types that are typically more popular amongst Amazon resellers who do OA. And so the main thing is you're looking for retail websites. The main type of retail websites that you're looking for are going to be popular retailers, whether they're department stores, whether they are purely online, whether they have brick and mortar. We're talking about your big names like Walmart, Target, Kohl's, any of those bigger types of stores, those are definitely places that you can look. Those are kind of the low-hanging fruit, obvious ones. Walgreens, CVS, those are other ones where you can find a lot of stuff available online, match that up with the Amazon catalog and source that inventory. So the first place you're always going to want to look at these stores is whatever's on sale and whatever's on clearance. That's the low-hanging fruit. That is where you go. That's where everybody's going to go. So it's going to have more competition, but you can still find stuff there if you time it just right and if you know how to read the Keepa charts and you know how to kind of mitigate your risk with the timing of it, how fast the item is selling, what season we're in, the historical data, and like the current number of competitors. All of those are things that you're going to be able to figure out. But more importantly, even than looking at clearance and sale items, is looking at regular price items on those websites to find replens. That is the pure gold from online arbitrage because if you can find a replen, which is an item that you can replenish your inventory, you can buy it again and again to sell it again and again, and you can just keep those profits coming because once you sell out, you can go back to that same website and get more to restock your inventory on Amazon. That's where you're going to get the dependable, predictable sales and predictable cash flow and all of the wonderful, predictable profits that come from that. And you can find those replens from regular price items at retail websites, whether they're the big names or the smaller ones. It's possible to find replens when things are on sale or clearance, but you're wanting to be looking even more for items that are regular price, doing that digging and searching through the regular price items on websites to find those replens so that when it goes on sale or you've got a coupon code or something like that, you just get even more ROI. You get more profit margin, but you're looking for items that regardless of whether it's regular price or on sale, it's profitable on Amazon. And it's there. We have these in um our Amazon inventory right now that I just keep an eye on them. When it gets low, I go back and buy more because even if it's not on sale, it's gonna on sale on the retailer website. I know it's gonna sell for a profit on Amazon if I reorder. Now, Another type of site that you will want to look for is closeout and overstock types of sites. These are sites where you're going to find inventory that is going to be at an even more reduced price than normal. These are types, some of these are things like Nordstrom Rack and things like that that are even like there might even be a brick and mortar version of it, but then they've got like the closeout and the overstock types of it online as well. The only thing is that you want to make sure when you receive the inventory or if you're having it sent to a prep center, have them inspect the inventory and make sure you're not getting outlet quality items that have any type of flaws in them that cause them to be out like sent to an outlet. There's also like REI overstock and outlet type stuff. Those are all really good websites to use to look through things that are marked down. You just want to make sure that when you get that inventory that it's in new condition. If you're selling it in new condition, you want to make sure that you're grading everything appropriately. And you also want to make sure that you're analyzing the keep it history on these items to make sure that the prices are going to hold over time. So the next type of location that you're going to be looking online for inventory that sells is going to be the small niche e-commerce stores. These are going to be your hidden gems. They're not like a Walmart that has some of everything. You know, Walmart's basically like an Amazon everything store type place. You're going to be looking for niche stores that focus in on one particular type of inventory. So it could be that you know one category really well on Amazon and sell really well in it. Find the niche e-commerce stores that sell in that category and learn all you can about the websites that sell that type of inventory. And this is where you can really dig deep with manual sourcing. And over time, you will get to where you know the website. There are certain websites that I go to, and all I have to do is pull up the homepage. And I know if I need to do any more digging or if it's all the same as the last time I was there. I can look at certain things on the homepage, do a couple of clicks to dig a little bit deeper and know whether I need to, like, okay, wipe my calendar for the next couple of hours today. I'm going to be sitting here doing some manual sourcing because there's new inventory that's dropped and I need to go through it. This is how you're going to be able to speed up that process over time through consistently looking at these websites, through consistently sitting down and doing the work, or having a VA do it for you so that you get to know your websites that you're looking at on a regular basis and you can, it's part of that scalability and that streamlining process that comes with time is putting in that time to do the work and the research so that the next time this is part of selling replens as well. You're doing your research up front so that it's quicker on the back end. You're also wanting through this whole process to, this is just kind of a bonus before we move on, and Stephen's going to talk to us about how to make smart buying decisions. You're also wanting to think through ways to get better ROI, return on your investment, with every purchase that you make online. So, like I said, you're looking for items, both clearance items or on sale items, and the regular price items. But even if you're buying regular price, there are ways to get more ROI out of what you're purchasing. So you're going to always be looking to stack discounts, whether it is coupon codes that are active, sales that are going on the stores, or cash back. Using cash back either if you have a credit card that you use on a regular basis that gets you cash back. And just our typical caveat is we do not recommend using credit to buy your inventory. Pay off your credit cards on a regular basis. Using debt to buy a lot of inventory with just hoping that it will pay off is not a smart way to source. You always want to be able to pay cash for that, even if you're using a credit card to get the points. And then also make sure that you're using a cashback website or a Chrome extension. The one that we use the most and recommend is Rakuten. And fulltimefba.com/Rakuten. For those of you who are here live, Stephen's going to put that in the chat. And then we'll also have a link for you if you're watching on the replay. But that's the one that we use the most often right now. They have some really good deals going on right now for higher percentages of cash back because of Black Friday and Cyber Monday. They've had stuff going on all week leading up to all of the holiday buying. There's been sites that I typically source at that are usually 2% cash back that have been as high as 15 or more percent cash back, which is a huge discount on top of whatever you're already getting as a discount for sales that are going on the website. Stephen, do you know? Okay, you put in the chat. So the current bonus right now for first time signups with Rakuten, if you sign up at fulltimefba.com/Rakuten, is $50. So you sign up and you automatically get $50 cash back from them just for signing up. And then you just make sure that you're going through their website or using their Chrome extension to activate their discount, or not discount, their cash back. So you get the cash back later in the form of a check, but it's one more way to add, 2.5% or 5%, 10% cash back is that much off of the price, which gives you that much higher ROI when you do all those calculations to figure out what the ROI will be. Your price, your buy cost would be at that discounted price. All right, so hopefully that gave you some really good ideas of where to get started in looking for inventory. Stephen's going to talk to us for a minute now about how to make smart buying decisions.
Yeah, because like when you actually are looking at the inventory that you're wanting to buy to sell on Amazon, you want to make the right buying decision. Should you buy it? How much should you buy? Should you pass on it? Like, how do you make those decisions and make really wise decisions? And so there's some data, also known as data, because we pronounce them both ways in the same sentence. There's some data that you need to look at in order to make the right kind of decisions. And there's some tools that can help you make better decisions with that data. See, I just did it, data. Anyway, the two tools that can really help you know the information that you need to know, especially for online arbitrage. The first tool is called Rev Seller. Rev Seller is a Chrome extension that basically puts right on the Amazon sales page, the product page, a little box right underneath the title, and the box has almost all the information you need. If you're approved to sell it, if you're restricted, if you are, if there are any IP alerts for like intellectual property complaints about that item, what the sales rank is, what your profit margin is, if you match the buy box. You can pipe in your buy cost and it does the math for you to take all the Amazon fees out to make sure it's still profitable. Tons of really helpful information and that can help you understand whether or not it should be something you should buy, like what the category is when it comes to the item that you're wanting to sell. And so that's really helpful. You can find out more about it at fulltimefba.com/revseller. And then the other tool that we use, Rebecca's already mentioned it a few times, is Keepa. That is a tool that also puts a little, if it has a Google Chrome extension that puts a Keepa chart. And if you scroll down a little bit on the Amazon product page, and it shows you, and Keepa tracks the pricing history of almost every single item on Amazon, the sales rank history, so you can see, is the price steady? Are sales consistently coming in? How consistently are the sales coming in? There's buy box price history. What's the buy box usually at? Is it going up and down? Is it still profitable? So much stuff. And we have like, there's just using that information helps you make good sourcing decisions. And so there's that kind of stuff that can help you make good quality buying decisions. with online arbitrage, being able to use RevSeller, use Keepa, and a link for Keepa, fulltimefba.com/Keepa to help you. Because basically, if you're able to look into the history and see the history data, the history shows you kind of what to expect when it comes to the future. Keepa's basically they give you the last 3 months of information, but that you can a few clicks and check the last year or the entire history ever since Keepa has started tracking that item. And Keepa gets the information from Amazon, stores it, and there's certain items that have like 8 to 10 years of pricing data or sales rank history data, and it's just gives you more confidence in what you're buying. So that those kind of tools help you crunch the data in such a way where it's actually visual, and can really help you, because you don't want to buy 10 of something that only sells once or twice a year. You don't want to buy one of something that hasn't sold at all in the last year. You don't want to only buy 10 of something that sells 10 a day. And so it's like you want to make sure you're making the right kind of decision. So having that kind of information helps you know what to buy. And helps you make a smart buying decision. Another thing when it comes to online arbitrage and making smart buying decisions is how you handle your budget, the money that you have. I wish we had endless money to just invest in whatever inventory we want, but many of us have limited funds, and we want to make sure that the funds that we use to buy stuff online actually come back with a profit. And so you want to make sure that if you whatever amount you have set aside to use with online arbitrage, that you start small and then you start to scale up, meaning maybe buying a sample order of maybe three or four and see how well that goes. And if they sell super fast, the next time buy five or 10. And so you would rather wish that you purchased more when you make an online arbitrage buying decision. You would rather wish you purchased more than wish you had purchased less. Like I would always rather buy five and wish I'd purchased 20 than purchase 20 and wish I had only purchased five, because money is what helps you grow your Amazon business. You don't want your money tied up in your sourcing capital, tied up in inventory that's not selling. You want to have inventory that sells quickly so you can get that profit, so you can reinvest it quickly. That's how you snowball your profits bigger and bigger, by buying items that sell quickly. And so you start small and you can start to scale. And so you don't want to have too much of your sourcing capital tied up in inventory that is not selling. And so you want to make sure that the items fit the right kind of criteria that show you this item sells quickly and this item sells at the price that you expect it to sell for. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever experienced this? You send something to Amazon, it's priced at $25. You're happy with that price. And by the time it gets to Amazon, competitors come in and lower the price to like under $20. And then a few days later, it's down to 15. Yes, it sucks. It's horrible. I hate it because I just put money into something that maybe I'll break even on. I don't, and that's we don't want to have our sourcing capital tied up in stuff that was not making us money. And so you can use the data from Keepa, the sales rank history, the pricing history, to get a better, clearer picture of what's going to happen with your inventory. Another thing when it comes to, making sure your sourcing capital is being used wisely is not to use credit. Not to use credit because, I mean, if you do use credit, make sure that like because we use credit in our Amazon business, but because we do it to basically protect ourselves in case there's fraud and those kind of situations, because it's a whole lot easier to get credit card fraud issues cleaned up than maybe a debit card issue. and how that works. But every time we buy something with credit, we immediately pay it off. And so it's not like we're increasing our debt and just hoping, okay, this item's going to sell and it's going to make me money, and then I'm going to be able to pay it back because I made that money back, so I pay back and I get to keep my profits, right? Don't ever do that because things could go wrong. There's a whole list of things that could go wrong, but you don't want to experience that. But you want to make sure that you only, if you use credit, only use it if you know you can immediately pay it off. Like I hit my submit order on the online arbitrage website that I'm shopping at. I submit the order. And then I go into my credit card payment system and pay it off. And so that is what we do and what we suggest that you do. Just always pay off. I mean, you might not be able to pay it off immediately, but basically, in the next couple days or pay it off once a week, something like that. Make sure you have it on your schedule to pay it off because using debt to try to grow your business is not a smart idea because the thing is, when we're using someone else's money, we actually make poor decisions with how we are spending that money because it's not our money. Even though we know we're going to have to pay it back, and there's going to be a fee with that if we have to have interest charges, we still make more bad decisions, poorer decisions when we use debt than when we use our own money. But if you use your credit card to pay for inventory and you pay it off almost immediately, then you don't have to worry about that. So when it comes to your budget, you want to make sure you're making smart decisions. Um, so when it comes to really looking at online arbitrage and making smart buying decisions. I'm going to take a drink of water really quickly. But I'll tell you in just a moment. When it comes to online arbitrage, there's some mistakes that sometimes even experienced Amazon sellers make. And so if you are new to online arbitrage, listen closely because we want to help you avoid these mistakes completely. In fact, I'm going to tell you five big mistakes. You can put them in your notes. Um, but these five mistakes. The mistake number one is assuming today's price on the Amazon page is going to be tomorrow's price. Um, you're like, I'm buying this because it's selling on Amazon for $50. Don't assume that by the time you get your inventory to Amazon, that sell price is still going to be $50. That's a huge mistake because prices go up and down on Amazon all the time. That's why we look at the Keepa graph. Look at the pricing history on a Keepa graph so we can see where is that price trending upward, downward, or is it consistent? I mean, if the price is trending upward, that's awesome. That's good. If the price is consistent, that's awesome too. But if the price is trending downward, or if we see, which you can see on a Keepa graph, the number of competitors is actually drastically increasing on this item. So that means the supply is going up. And if the supply goes up and the demand does not increase, prices go down. So you want to make sure that you're making good decisions. So don't assume that today's sales price on an Amazon page is going to be what is going to be your sales price a week from now, 2 weeks from now, whenever that item actually gets to Amazon. So that's a one mistake that I want you to avoid. Don't always assume. Um, Number two mistake with online arbitrage. Um, Overbuying untested brands. When I say untested brands, I mean not tested by you. You might know the brand, you might know the brand name. It might be a brand name that everyone and their dog knows. Yeah, do dogs even know brand names? I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. It might be a well reputable brand, but unless you have had experience selling that item on Amazon and seen it for yourself that it actually is selling, it's a huge mistake to overbuy. Just because you've heard of it does not mean it's actually going to sell consistently on Amazon and going to sell for you for what you're expecting. And so don't overbuy. Again, like I said, I would rather wish I bought more then wish I had bought less. So overbuying on untested brands that you haven't actually tried yourself, that is a big mistake. Uh, Mistake number three, when it comes to online arbitrage, um, overbuying the low-hanging fruit. And when I say low-hanging fruit, I mean the easy stuff, the stuff that most people are sourcing. And what's most people sourcing? Clearance sections, closeout sections. Those are the items that most people are sourcing. So uh, sometimes we might look at a keeper graph and be like, oh, the pricing is pretty consistent. The sales rank is pretty consistent. Oh, the number of competitors is pretty consistent. But when something shows up in a clearance section, that might mean that many different competitors, Amazon sellers, are going to start buying that item and sending it to Amazon. And again, if supply goes up and demand does not go up to meet it, prices tank. So if you're overbuying low-hanging fruit, that's a huge mistake. Mistake number four. Remember, we got five mistakes. We're running right through these. Mistake number four, buying items without checking if you're approved to sell it or not. You're buying items without checking restrictions. That, especially with online arbitrage, that's a huge mistake because even if everything else looks great, if you're not allowed to sell the item, I mean, imagine putting hundreds of dollars into inventory on online arbitrage. It ships to your house. You unpack it. You get it ready to ship to Amazon. You set up a shipment to Amazon, and then you realize, I forgot to check if I'm even approved. Um, Ask me how I know that this still happens to experienced Amazon sellers. That I admit it. There, in fact, I did it about a month ago. I bought something that I had to return that I did that I thought I checked it, but no, I didn't, and so I had to return it. So that's just capital that could have been making me money that wasn't because it was tied up in inventory that I couldn't even sell. So anyway, don't do that. Don't buy items without double checking if you are approved to sell it first. All right, that's mistake number four. Mistake number five, not scaling your Amazon business, not scaling online arbitrage. What is scaling? Scaling means putting systems or putting tools into place to help you grow and make more money, but actually spend less time doing it. You're doing more, you're buying more inventory, you're getting more opportunities to see items that you could sell on Amazon, but you're actually having to spend less time working on it, whether you're buying a tool that's helping you or whether you're putting systems in place so that um, that things are streamlined. If you're not scaling online arbitrage and starting to scale it from the beginning, then your path to growing is going to be pretty hard. And so here's some ways that you can scale. You can put this in your notes as well. Ways that you can scale that are really good. And I'm actually also going to share some ways that are simple. Some of them might be kind of hard. But others are going to be more simplified. Um, the number one thing to help you scale your Amazon business, and this costs you nothing, is this. Write this down. Consistent sourcing. Put it another way, source consistently. If you like having a certain time on the schedule every single day for you to source inventory, or at least every weekday, that you're sourcing inventory consistently. Because if you are just gonna if you just kind of wait until time miraculously is like, hey, here's an hour of free time that you did not have expected, and you're like, okay, that's when I'll go source when I have the free time. No, you have to make it a priority. You have to make the time. So sourcing consistently is a way to scale your business, and that does not cost you a thing. So sourcing consistently is a really good way to scale your business. The second way to scale your business, first I'm going to give you a more expensive, harder strategy, but then I'm going to show you a way that that you can do it a lot cheaper. The second way to scale your business is to hire a VA. I mean, imagine if you had a VA working for you. Maybe the VA's work is like they're working in the Philippines. You can pay them a competitive wage to basically do online arbitrage while you're sleeping, and then you wake up in the morning and hey, there's a list of things your VA found to buy online and sell. And you can teach your VA, this is why this is the harder strategy. You teach your VA your sourcing methods. You teach your VA uh, what to look for, what sales rank patterns to look for, what pricing, what kind of ROI you want. You teach your VA what websites to go to. You teach your VA, like you go through and you train your own VA and then hire them. And like if they're in the Philippines, they're doing it while you're sleeping, that you wake up in the morning and poof, there's leads that fit your criteria. That's one way to do that. Another way is to hire a VA that's already trained. That way, you don't have to train them. The VA is already trained, and they are able to, um, that's a strategy that like we recommend and that we use. So, um, a VA that's already trained who puts together a list for you of inventory items that are profitable that you can sell on Amazon. And basically those are called leads lists. Those are inventory leads. You get a list of that every weekday that you get access to. You wake up in the morning, or if you're having your lunch break from work or whatever, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna look at these leads lists. And like, okay, there's these different websites that are having certain inventory items that they're selling at a low enough price that I can sell on Amazon at a high enough price that is, and if the VA that you either you train it yourself or you hire someone who's already trained, they've got an understanding of Keepa. They have an understanding of sales rank history, pricing history, pricing trends, sales rank trends, those kind of things. A leads list that's actually valuable is one that understands that the prices are not always the same. Prices go up and down all the time, but they can use Keepa to figure it out. And you also want a VA who's putting together a leads list for you that is not using tools that other Amazon sellers use to find online arbitrage leads. I don't know if you've heard of this. There's a tool called Tactical Arbitrage. Tactile Arbitrage has a list of dozens of online stores that you can use Tactile Arbitrage to kind of crunch the numbers on sales pages of these certain websites, and then it basically turns it into a spreadsheet that you can then sort by ROI, profit margin, all that kind of stuff. The only problem is that's low-hanging fruit. That's the items that almost every other Amazon seller who's doing online arbitrage, if they're using a tool, is also using. And so a valuable leads list is one that is not using the same websites that Tactile Arbitrage is using, because Tactile Arbitrage only uses a list of a few dozen websites that they find inventory at. Yet there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of other websites doing selling stuff online that are no one on tactical arbitrage is touching. And so you want a leads list where the VA is actually doing manual sourcing. They're doing sourcing that is finding stuff that Amazon sellers who are using tactical arbitrage that are just about to like flood the market with the exact same items because they're all sourcing from the same stores, and then the prices tank. You want to avoid that. A good leads list will help you avoid that. Another thing with a good leads list, you want to make sure that leads list only has a certain number, like a max number of Amazon sellers who get access to this. Because again, if there is a leads list that has hundreds of people accessing the leads every single day, again, it's that whole supply and demand thing. The supply for those items is about to skyrocket. The demand is not going up, so the prices all go down and nobody wins. So a good leads list has a max number of people who get access to that. Leads lists are awesome. they save you time because, again, you just wake up in the morning, you check the leads list, you go through and see if those items are approved to be sold by you, if they're part of your business model, if you want to sell that item, and then make your decision. And so a goods leads list helps you understand. They don't just tell you like where to buy it and what Amazon is selling it for, but they also give you more information like the profit margin or the profit amount or the category that that item is in. Even like sometimes like the number of reviews. Like if something has over 1,000 reviews, I'm like, okay, that sells a lot. If something has like only one or two reviews, I don't like totally ignore it, but I at least look more into it. Also variations. There's different leads that will like I want to know, is the item I'm looking at just a one-off item or are there 30 different variations? Because again, I don't if there's multiple variations, I don't just completely ignore those, but it's part of my thought process when it comes to actually sourcing. So you want a leads list that does uh, the number of variations so that you can make a really good quality decision. But the best thing about a leads list is the amount of time that it saves you. Um, One other thing that a good leads list will provide for you is training, like actual video training on how to use the leads list, how to use other things impacted by online arbitrage. A good leads list will help you do that. And if you haven't figured it out by now, we here at Full-Time FBA, Rebecca and I, we decided to put together a leads list using our very own VAs. We have multiple VAs who do online arbitrage. They are based in the Philippines. They love looking online and finding items for us in America to buy and sell on Amazon. We train them with our Keepa training strategies. We train them on how to use all the tools. And so if you're like, if you heard me saying, oh, I need to learn this tool and I need to learn that tool, I need to learn all these different things, and then I need to like find and hire and train a VA to do that, okay, I'm out. But if you would like to have a trained VA find leads for you that is shared with a small number of people, then I want to invite you to check out OA Success Leads. In fact, if you go to fulltimefba.com/OA Success, there is an opportunity for you to hire our VAs to do inventory sourcing for you via online arbitrage. And we have I'm just going to cut right to this right now. We have a sale going on right now with our online arbitrage success. There's a coupon code, but the cool thing is right now, if you just go to fulltimefba.com/OA success and you click that you want to add to cart, that you want to join online arbitrage success leads, the coupon code is like you just click the button and the coupon code is already there in your shopping cart waiting for you. What's the coupon code? 25% off the first month. So, Online Arbitrage Success Leads, it's a monthly subscription where you get access to um, 75 leads a month, at least 75 leads, online arbitrage leads a week. Sorry, not a month. 75 online arbitrage leads a week, which averages out to about 15 leads a day that have our Keepa um, and other tools, our sales rank parameters, our buying parameters, the things that we at Full-Time FBA, literally, Rebecca and I, we've trained our VAs to find leads. And we have, like, personally, Rebecca and I have more leads than we can handle. And so we put together OA Success Leads and allowed you to have access to our VAs. So you get with OA Success Leads over 75 leads a week. Monday through Friday, every morning, it will be waiting for you to gain access to your leads. And the leads are capped at a max of 20. I think we have only 7 spots available right now. And so if you go to fulltimefba.com/OA success, you can grab one of those leads, but they're going to go fast. And so you want to be able to sure that you lock up. But these are Keepa checked pro profitable items that you can buy to sell on Amazon. We filtered out all the inventory items that are not profitable, and we are giving you the leads that, and what we're giving you exactly which website to go to. If there happens to be a coupon code, the lead will include that, like a coupon code. Buy three or more and get one free, or 25% off your entire order, or whatever off for whatever you need, like whatever the criteria, or to to use a coupon code. If there's a coupon code available, we'll include that. And sometimes there's not, because there's some leads there that are just really good, profitable leads all the time. That's my other favorite thing about leads lists that are really good. Some of these items could potentially end up into it becoming replens. Even like if there's not a coupon code, or even if there is a coupon code when you buy it, sometimes those items are still profitable replens even after the coupon code is no longer applicable. Now, of course, you're not going to make a little bit less money because there's no coupon code, but if you're able to continually reorder those items on a consistent basis over time, when you start to sell out, just go back and reorder more. If it's selling for more on Amazon consistently and you're buying it at a lower price on another website, keep flipping it over and over again. And so with OA success leads, you get those 75 leads a week, averages out to about 15 or so a day. So just like imagine the time that you're saving. You're just checking 15 leads every day. Am I approved to sell this? Great. Is it profitable? Well, yes, it already is profitable. It already checks a keep a check. It already goes through it because we have this whole checklist for our VAs to make sure that the items that they're looking for and suggesting for these leads match exactly what we want and what we would buy for Amazon business. In fact, the leads are checked against our Amazon business to if and so there are zero leads on the leads list that we personally are not approved to sell. Now I know not everyone has the same seller metrics, or they've been selling on Amazon as long as we have. We have no way of making sure that you're going to be approved, but there will be some of those leads that you are going to be approved to sell already. And the longer you sell on Amazon, the more you're going to get uh, to be approved. In fact, we have one of our OA Success clients. Um, like they actually were using OA Success leads, and they're like, you know what? I'm actually not approved to sell most of these items. I'm going to, I think, going to canceling my membership. And they canceled their membership for a couple months, and then they came back later, and they're like, okay, I want to start up again because all the things that I was approved to sell for that I purchased, they're selling on Amazon. Not only that, the more flips that I've been able to do on Amazon, the more stuff I've been able to sell on Amazon, the more categories I've been able to sell on Amazon, the longer I've been selling, all of a sudden these items that I wasn't approved to sell for before are now being I'm approved to sell them now. So it's like I went back in. And so they jumped right back into it. And so you get that, and again, we have limited spots. We cap our leads list at 20 max. 20 max, so that and so that people are not flooding the market with all these items on Amazon. And what's really interesting is the number of people who are our current customers, like like some people are, even though they sign up, they're not consistently sourcing. And I know this because like there's might be an item on the list that I purchased to sell on Amazon. I'm like, okay, my number of competitors have not gone up, but I'm selling this item. Man, people have just missed out. So even if you think 20 is too high, don't worry. There are some of them who aren't following through. Just setting aside maybe 30 minutes to an hour once every weekday to do online arbitrage. Do you think you can do that and go through these leads list? And another cool thing, in fact, we go into this training. We have a training about following rabbit trails with OA success leads, where you can learn how to find you got your lead, but there's some rabbit trails that you can take. You're like, oh, well, this is giving me this idea for this one makeup product in this one variation. maybe there's some other variations that are very profitable. Or, oh, hey, this one website has a 25% off coupon code that's good today only. I wonder what else on this website would be really good and profitable for me to buy using this 25% off coupon code. And we show you how to follow those rabbit trails to help you find even more on top of. So even if you just spend 30 minutes a day going through your list, you're like, I'm going to spend another 30 minutes to an hour following some rabbit trails. There's really, it's just really good opportunity for you. So we invite you. There's only 7 spots left. I mean, unless someone signed up already, then there's less than that. Fulltimefba.com/OA success. Go and check it out. There's more information on that page about what we have as our criteria. There's even a sample of a sample of like our leads list. Like we have like what the items are and the ASINs kind of blurred out, but you can kind of see, oh, these are the categories I think it was a July date that I took a screenshot of our leads list. I mean, then blurred out the actual items, but you can see, okay, you can kind of see what you would get yourself. So check it out, fulltimefba.com/OA success. And so if you are finally ready for consistent, profitable, predictable, reliable inventory that you can buy to sell on Amazon, then I want you to join OA Success Leads. It's going to be one of the best decisions. Especially right now. I mean, the sales going on right now because it's Q4 are insane. There's some incredible sales going on right now. And we got this coupon code, 25% off your first month. The coupon code is OA 2025. But if you just go to fulltimefba.com/OA success and click add to cart, your coupon code will already be applied. I mean, you'll see the price, the regular price with a little cross through and then the actual price. Um, but we only have a few spots open. We want to open it up to you. So that you can get 25% off your first month, and then you're just going to love it after that and grow your Amazon business. So we're going to transition now, do a little Q&A, try to answer as many questions as we can. Rebecca's going to come back on camera, and we're going to try to help you get any clarity that you need based on what we've been talking about during this last hour or so. So let's get into some Q&A.
All right. Yeah, I'm getting a good list of questions here. So I'm going to get into those. If you've asked questions already, I've been compiling them, but keep them coming. If you're here live, put those in the chat. We also want to announce, in addition to announcing that um, coupon code for OA Success Leads, which is our best coupon code that we do of the year. We only do this particular coupon code once a year. So if you're planning to wait and just get a coupon code some other time, you're going to have to wait a whole year. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to miss out on a year of using this VA service. Um, so be sure and get signed up as soon as you can so that you can do that while there are open spots. But the other thing is, we are going to do another master class on Monday. You didn't announce that yet, did you,
I
Stephen?
did not. No, I did not.
Okay, we're going to put it in the email that's going out too. But we're going to do another class. This one's going to be more of a demonstration of online arbitrage. So we'll send out the information about that. That one's going to be on Monday night. It's a come source with us. Basically, Stephen will be doing some sourcing and you'll get to kind of look over his shoulder at what he's going to share the screen and you'll get to see what he's doing. And we're going to do that from a leads list put together by one of our VAs. It will not be the leads that we use actually in the actual success leads list that goes out to subscribers, but it will be in the same format and the same type of leads. We're just going to have her give us some extra ones that we can use for that. So Monday, December 8th, same time, same place. We'll send out the email with the link for that, but make sure you mark your calendar for that.
Yeah, and we
All
will have a
right.
replay if you already have plans. I know it's kind of last minute. It'll be a
Yeah.
really short time to watch the replay, but we'll have a replay if you can't make
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we'll make sure that you get access to that. But if you can come live, that's the best way to do it so that you can ask any questions that you have about what he's doing. Okay, so what made you guys do OA versus wholesale? And how have you avoided account shutdown because stores only provide retail receipts for inventory purchases versus what Amazon requires, providing supplier or manufacturer invoices?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, we do wholesale. We kind of balance our Amazon business with retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, and wholesale. But we feel like wholesale is like the third thing to add once you kind of get some some uh, some consistency with retail or online arbitrage. And so we love online arbitrage because yeah, of just I mean having our VAs provide these leads, we go look at the leads and we make some decisions. We buy stuff and we sell on Amazon with wholesale is all about having a relationship with a wholesaler, gaining their trust, showing that you are a good wholesale, because it's not just like, hey, I want a wholesale account, and they're like, okay, here you go. It's really hard to get approved to sell a wholesale brand. And so yes, there are strategies that you can do to kind of figure that out, but online arbitrage is just so much easier, so much more access to um, that strategy. And so that's why we focused, especially tonight, on online arbitrage, because
So, Stephen,
yeah.
can you address? I think part of the question is about the fact that when you do online arbitrage, you're not getting wholesale invoices. You have, I think part of the question is a concern over how have you avoided account shutdown because the stores are only providing you with retail receipts.
Okay, so when it comes to like Amazon, and there's a lot of false information,
Misconceptions.
misconceptions. That's the fancy word I was looking for. Um, there's a lot of misconceptions about uh, Amazon will accept online arbitrage receipts if you are being asked for proof of ownership. If you're being
Or
asked
proof of purchase.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, proof of purchase, um, making sure, so it's basically proving this is not counterfeit. I have a proof that I purchased it from this website. Amazon
Or for
will,
the or for the purpose of like reimbursement. Like I need a reimbursement for items that you lost. They will take an online arbitrage receipt to prove that you purchased it.
right. Amazon will not 90+% of the time take an online arbitrage receipt for the purpose of trying to get approved to sell a gated item that you're, not approved to sell. Um, there's a whole lot there's a lot we can go into about that, but it's a lot. But Amazon prefers wholesale receipts and invoices when it comes to getting approved to sell it, but when it comes to proving authenticity and the proof of purchase, Amazon is perfectly fine with online arbitrage receipts. So we do not have any worries about our accounts being shut down because we're able to prove that the items that we're selling are not counterfeit. They are genuine because we purchased them from a particular website that is reputable. Like if I purchased a online arbitrage item from mikescrazystuff.com, okay, that might not be reputable. But if
Who's
I
Mike?
I mean, you don't know Mike? I don't know Mike either. But if you buy it from Kohl's.com or name of business that is reputable.com or whatever, then you're going to be fine. And that's
Yeah.
one of the things that our VAs focus on. And in fact, that was an issue when we first got started with our VAs. One of our VAs was actually buying stuff from websites that did not have a good trust pilot score. And we went in and corrected that. That was a long time ago. But it was something that was important. We want to make sure that the websites that we are sending people to purchase their online arbitrage inventory from have a strong trust pilot score. And trust pilot is basically, whether or not a website is trustworthy, reputable, and is not going to con you or steal your money.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's part of the whole vetting process for the leads. That's
Yeah.
hi, I'm up in Canada. Would this list be beneficial for selling on Amazon.ca?
Well, our VAs focus on finding leads that are good for Amazon.com. And I know pricing or sales rank history might be different. And so what I would suggest to you is to use the 25% off your first month um, coupon code, and for the first month, go through those leads and be like, okay, I'm gonna go check and see how these are doing on Amazon.ca. Like because there are Keepa graphs specifically for Amazon.ca, and you can be like, okay, this is what the Keepa looks like in the States at Amazon.com, but I can look at what it looks like on Amazon.ca on a Keepa graph, and see if that works for you. And if you start realizing, oh, things are just about the same, very similar, then you can keep with that. And if it doesn't work, then you can just cancel your subscription. But now's the perfect time since it's the coupon code. Um, and so yeah, that's and also you also can look into, okay, what would it take? Because I know there's a lot of Amazon sellers in Canada who sell on Amazon.com, and go down that route if that's seems to be an option for you.
Can you use Keepa for eBay as
Uh,
well as Amazon?
Keepa does do eBay stuff. If an eBay item has the UPC in if the yeah if the eBay item has the UPC, then that's how Keepa is able, because Keepa will track pricing history on eBay, but it's very limited, and is dependent on if the sellers are using the UPC. So it's good to kind of know a little bit, but not as good as doing using Keepa for Amazon.
Can you talk about how gift cards work when you're doing OA? Do they give you some kind of a code and you can use it right away when you find a good item on the website?
When it comes to gift cards, you would be buying a gift card for a particular store, and if you're using it online, then the gift card will have the a certain number code to put in, maybe even a PIN number. I know that's redundant because N in PIN stands for number, but PIN number, that's what people say. Um, and so like we actually recommend for some people to use discounted gift cards, like going to a gift card exchange, fultonfba.com/GCX, and buying discounted gift cards, and being able to use those online. And so, but if a online store accepts gift cards, then it's a good way to save some money.
So follow-up question, would you have to purchase your discount gift cards ahead of time then?
Um, some of them, yes. There are some gift, and I can't remember how fast you could get the gift card from gift card exchange. But sometimes it's same day or next day that you get, the gift card, and usually then you would be able to use it immediately, um or at least the next day when it's delivered. But it is mostly pretty instantaneous. Not 100% of the time. You want to double check the page that you're buying it from, how fast you would get access to the gift card.
Yeah.
Also,
Uh,
there's a tool called Honey that also checks coupon codes. So if you go to fultonfba.com/honey, it searches the internet for coupon codes that can help you as well.
yeah, Rakuten does that as well.
Yeah, but you can't use them both. You can only use
Right.
whichever is the one you most recently activated. That's the one that you can use.
Yeah, so if you're trying to get Rakuten cash back, you want to make sure that's activated and not in
Yes.
Honey. Okay, a couple more questions about OA success leads, and then another question about VAs. How many people are on each of your lists, and do you have multiple lists and a list for gated accounts?
We have two online arbitrage success leads lists. They are both capped at 20. Um, and basically when one starts to fill up, we open up the other one. And so um, they both get different leads. So they're not the same leads. That would not make any sense. And for every Amazon seller, it's just going to depend on how long you've been selling and what your seller metrics are. The longer you've been selling and the better your seller metrics, the more brands you're going to be able to get approved. And also, the more consistent you are to always applying for every item that you are restricted from selling or not approved to sell, um, you know, you're not just going to get approved if you don't apply. So you always apply. Every single time I see a restriction or that I'm not approved, I always apply.
Yeah, and we double and triple check that none of the items on either of the lists, there's the tiger list and the lion list is what we call them to keep them separated. And there's 20 cap on each of those, so 40 spots total. Um, but all of the leads are double and triple checked against our personal selling account to make sure they're not restricted, meaning you can't even apply for it. Now, there are times when, we are able to get approval for it, but other people might not be able to. They might be gated and not have it be able to be opened up. But we do not include anything that's purely restricted on our account, meaning nobody can, we cannot even apply.
Hmm.
So that is something that we check and vet that all of the leads that way, and then we have another VA that comes back and double checks. There's a whole process.
Yeah.
Do your VAs OA through wholesalers too? I mean, technically, OA and wholesaling are different. We do have some like we have had wholesale success leads at different times in the past because we have one VA on our VA team who does specialize in wholesale sourcing, but all of the leads on OA success leads, because OA is technically online retailers, those are not going to be leads for wholesale accounts. Those are going to be leads to retail websites. Now, if you find a really good lead, I mean, it's a good jumping off point, honestly. If you find really good leads that are a good replen, we have found leads through the OA process that we have then gone and double checked and said, you know what, I want to try to get a wholesale account directly with a wholesaler, the wholesale brand or a supplier of some sort, rather than going through a retail website to get an even better price. So that's one method of doing that. But the leads that we are sending out are leads that are profitable on an online retail website that day.
Yeah, and sometimes these online arbitrage retail sites have the name wholesale in them. It's like going to Sam's Club and you're getting wholesale prices, but it's a retail store. Or there's what's it called? BJ's Wholesale.
BJ's Wholesale.
Yeah, it's like that's not wholesale. It's got wholesale in the title to get you there and get you thinking that it's cheaper price services, but that's a retail online store.
Yeah. Sometimes wholesale just means in bulk for
Yeah.
certain stores. It's not really a cheaper, I mean, it might be cheaper because you're buying in bulk, but it's not the same as wholesale prices as opposed to there is still a retail markup. Okay. Here's a big question for you, Stephen.
Oh,
How can you find a legit VA? That is the question, the million-dollar question that we are all wanting to know.
yeah. I mean, it is hard to
Yeah.
find a quality VA. Um, I mean, when we first started looking for a VA for ourselves, you know, like we hired somebody and they were sourcing for us, and then we found out they were also sourcing for somebody else. And we fired that bad boy pretty quickly. And we're like, okay, and yeah, it was just it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. There's a process. There are websites that you go through. We've hired from Upwork before. There's also online, is it online jobs?
Onlinejobs.ph.
Oh, it's like, where does the dot go? It's not online dot jobs. It's onlinejobs.ph, and the PH stands for Philippines. Um, we have had VAs in other countries before, but we just always, our Filipino VAs are the best. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have found that as well. There's just a really good group of workers in the Philippines that specialize in this type of work. and they network together and they support one another. And so it's just a really, that website in particular is just a really good place to look for VAs.
Yeah, and also language is important, and
Yeah.
the language of the Philippines is English, and so
Yeah.
it just makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, that's the language barrier has not been an issue because of that. And so, I mean, it's a vetting process, putting out the job description and going through that whole process of getting applicants, sorting through the
Hmm.
applicants, interviewing people. We've had to do that various times for all the ones that we have on our VA team.
Yeah.
And it's a process. It's a process of getting to know and trust each other and all of that.
Yeah, and we've actually had people who've been members of online arbitrage success leads who like got our leads and purchased things to sell on Amazon and trained their VAs, like found their own VAs and kind of used our leads to kind of help them train their own VAs. And then we're like, okay, I'm canceling my subscription because I was able to train my own VA. And so, don't everyone do that, but it shows you
But
just how good these leads are that we
yeah, it
offer.
is. I mean, I feel like that's a valid use of the service,
Mhm.
honestly. I mean, not don't ever like sell somebody else's leads, but but like using something like that to train your own person, yeah, I mean, that's a possibility as well. You still have to find that person. Oh, that's really interesting. We've got a comment in the chat. I even brought a VA to the US for a month to stay with me and learn how to work together. That is dedication right there.
Wow. Yeah.
Um, our VAs, we've worked with them for several years. The one that's worked with us the longest is going to start her fourth year with us soon. Then we've got one that's about to start third year, and then the other two, they both have more experience in general, have worked with other companies, but like coming up on 2 years with us. And so, yeah, multiple years. All of those VAs, even though they've worked with us for 4 years, 3 years, whatever, they've worked several other years for other companies before working with us. And so combined our VA team, I don't even know how many years they have. I would have to like go and figure that out,
I
but
did the math. The answer is a lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, the answer is a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, we're so glad you're here, Lisa. Thank you for coming. I'm glad that this webinar was helpful. Um, I'm looking through. I think I've answered all of the questions that came through. If you have, we're kind of winding up on 90 minutes here. I thought this was going to be an hour long, but we just had a lot of really good questions and a lot of things to cover. This particular webinar, it is so hard to keep it to an hour. So I'm really grateful for all of y'all that have been here this whole time.
Yeah, that's also why we wanted to do another
Yes.
webinar. Doing
Yeah.
like Monday night, the Come Source with us. We're going to show you leads that our VAs found. We're going to do some sourcing. I'm going to walk you through the thought process and kind of how we decide, uh, what we're going to do with those leads. I know Elisa was asking, so do you have your VA do most of the work, like finding products? So like, yeah, like I'm doing retail arbitrage. We're doing occasional wholesale, but with our like 99% of our online arbitrage is through our VAs. And it's been really helpful to have that. It's helped scale our business. It helps us to work on other things that we want to do, like these webinars and stuff to kind of help you as well. And so we recommend fulltimefba.com/OA success so that you can start scaling your online arbitrage business, start working less time in your business, have a VA do it for you, and just spend those times going through those leads, finding rabbit trails, and start increasing the inventory that you sell on Amazon and increasing your profits to sell on Amazon.
So we have a question. Do you do that every Monday night? And that's the come source with us. No, that is not something we do every Monday. We're just doing it this coming Monday, kind of as a follow-up to today, because we have this OA focused class tonight, and we were like, there's no way we're going to be able to cover everything in one evening. So we decided to go ahead and plan another follow-up session. So that is a one-time follow-up session next Monday night. Oh, and then there's a very heated question about, are you a Yankees fan?
So, no, 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 I'm not.
He's
No.
got the Astros
Yeah,
paraphernalia,
I've
memorabilia.
got
That's the word I'm looking
so
for.
in we're in Texas, and so we are big fans of the Astros. I grew up in Houston, but I live in the Dallas Fort Worth area, so we're also big fans of the Rangers. And our third favorite team is whoever's playing the Yankees. So that's no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That was a joke, Don. Don't. But yeah, big baseball fans, and one of the things that our VAs have helped us do is to grow our Amazon business so that we can actually travel to many different baseball parks. That's kind of our dream, and that can be something that can help you as well. Growing your Amazon business via online arbitrage to kind of be able to do more traveling for yourself,
If
and
that's
so
your goal, I mean,
right,
everybody has different goals. Some
yep,
people, it's more like, I want to be able to put my kids through college. That was our financial goal for a while.
yes,
Kids are done with college now, so that's been good. We still have some that are um, younger than that, but
yeah.
the one that went to college is out of college. So Jessica says, since I listed a few things on eBay in November, I noticed they do automatic feedback now. Too bad Amazon can't have that setting for the automatic 5 star on day 30 after delivery. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. Well, let's go ahead and kind of close up things tonight. One more time, fulltimefba.com/OA success. You can grab those leads, get access to that so that you can start getting consistent inventory into Amazon and get some consistent sales in your Amazon business. Again, the 25% off your first month, that coupon code is already embedded when you click to add that to your cart. If you go to OA Success Leads, the fulltimefba.com/OA Success, and you can save some good money for the first month, and then after that, every single weekday, 15 plus leads that you get access to, and find some stuff to sell on Amazon. Any final thoughts, Rebecca?
Yes, I am putting in the chat the link. So there you've got the link. Is that the link you were wanting in the chat, Don? You didn't say link. You just said, can you put that? And I assumed you meant link. If there's something else, let me know. And while we're working that out, we've got a request for the Daily Dad joke.
Daily dad joke. So, hey, Rebecca, what do you call a pen when it stops rolling?
A pin, P-I-N or P-E-N?
P-E-N. What do you call a
Oh,
pen when it's
Texas pronunciation. Those two words are pronounced differently.
what do you call a
Pen versus
peen?
pin. A
I don't know.
pin.
What do you call a pen? Pen, I can't. Okay, when it stops rolling. What
Pen.
what do you call this when it stops rolling?
What?
Stationary.
Oh,
That's not a
goodness.
very good one. No,
You
because
have a
I see
better one?
stationary is like more of the paper or whatever. All right, here's tomorrow's dad joke. I recently saw a guy who was running around with paper towels on his head. He said he had a bounty on his head.
Oh, dear.
Oh, yeah. Hey, this is the end of the year. These are my once a day calendar puns. It's the end of the year, so people who are still like haven't given up on them, they're lesser. Yes.
Some of them are better than others.
Yes.
All
Well, thank
right. We're
you
so
for
glad y'all are
joining
here
us.
tonight.
Yes. Oh, we both started talking and then we both stopped talking. But yeah, thank y'all for joining us tonight. Jump on that OA Success Leads. Grab your spot before they're all gone, and we'll see you on Monday night when we have a little OA Success. Come source with us. We're gonna have some fun and answer some more questions. So if you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, wow, I wonder about this, you can bring it Monday night and we'll talk
Yes.
about it.
Yeah, check your emails for those links and we'll see you again on Monday.
Sounds good. God bless everyone.
Bye.
Bye.